What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jay Rich, back to bring your MLB props for Monday, August 22nd. Yesterday, unfortunately, Shohei Ohtani got sick, apparently, left the game early, did not pitch well at all, completely screwed me on the parlays. Justin Steele got it done, and of course, Aaron Savale and that Chicago White Sox game did get rained out, but we're back again. We're back for some more. I got some hitters fantasy score props for you today. Was looking at the strikeouts, not seeing a ton that I like. So let's just dive into it right now. So Wilson Contreras, Seiya Suzuki, Paul Goldschmidt, Brian Reynolds, Luis Robert, Brandon Lowe, and Mike Trout. Right off the bat, I'll tell you straight up, don't like a lot on this slate. Don't like what I'm seeing. Not a ton of value. Just not really liking it. Wilson Contreras does look really good on paper, but the problem for me that scares me at least is that you see that against Jordan Montgomery, he's over 5. He does not have a hit off against Jordan Montgomery, so how can I trust him now to magically figure it out? Now, he is pretty hot. He is playing well, 11.33 over the last 14, 11.8 over the last 7, but a hit per game, 2 total bases. Okay, he's been kind of hot and cold. The line's only 5.5, which is great. Don't get me wrong. I think the line is great. If you want to take it, do it cautiously. Maybe do it in a flex. Don't put in a power play. I'm just not all the way there with Contreras. I think I'd be leaving it alone. I don't know if I want to go there. But again, you can if you want to. Same with Suzuki. Suzuki's kind of the same boat. Similar stats, less total bases, slightly fewer points, but still pretty hot with the same line. He has hit in 6 of his last 10, and Wilson Contreras has hit in 5 of his last 10. So again, they're right around the same spot, same line. Contreras has a bit of a higher ceiling, with the power, but overall, not seeing a ton of a difference between the two. Don't really love either guy. Paul Goldschmidt, on the other hand, I do like him. I think he's in a great spot against Drew Smyly, who has been playing pretty well. You see the .91 pitch factor, and then the park factor is 0.93. Even still, right? So same ballpark. There is some weather concerns, so I will say to everybody, I'll drop it in the description, but make sure you go and check out Kevin Ross' weather report before you place your bets. There could be some weather delays. There could be some issues today. There's a lot of rain in the forecast in the East Coast, apparently down south. There could be a lot of rain today. So definitely make sure you go check that out. It will be in the description. So before you decide to place your bets and all that stuff, go check the weather, because I can report on the weather right now, but things can change and all that. So I will have that in the description of this video. So make sure you check that out, especially today. But I do like Goldschmidt today. I think Goldschmidt is in a great spot against Drew Smyly. I just think that, as hot as he's been, 14.17 over the last 14, 18 points over the last 7. He's been getting it done, hitting in 7 of his last 10. I just like him today. Again, 8.5 is a massive number. I don't like to target 8.5s that much, but we have targeted Goldschmidt before when he's at 8.5. If there's some weather concerns, maybe stay away from it, because again, you want to be in the best hitting environment possible to maximize your fantasy points, and that may not happen if there's a lot of rain in the forecast. So don't go crazy on Goldschmidt if there are weather concerns. That's kind of my little caveat there. And then the guy I want to target for an under is actually Brandon Lowe. So Brandon Lowe has been pretty good for the Rays, but he's been struggling lately. He's only hitting 2 of his last 10 games, has a line of 7.5. Now, the Rays could definitely get to Tucker Davidson. That's kind of the one issue here, is that they could get to Tucker Davidson, but he's never seen him, so that is a big plus for me. And so that's where I'm kind of like, if you wanted to take an under, I think this is the one that I like. Luis Robert, not all the way there up against Daniel Lynch. He's 2 for 2 with a home run against him. Then you have Mike Trout up against Jeffrey Springs, and while Jeffrey Springs has been playing well, Mike Trout bats 500 against him in 6 at-bats. So again, there's a familiarity there. Even though Trout's been struggling since coming back, you could definitely take an under if you want to, but you run the risk with both these guys having better histories. At least Lau has never faced Tucker Davidson, so there's a slight edge there. We'll call it ever so slight. And they're also indoors, so that does help as well. No potential delays in Tampa Bay, and I do like a Lau for an under. Then you're looking at Brian Reynolds again. I don't know if I trust him. It feels like that hot streak is kind of over for Brian Reynolds, but 6.5 up against Jake Odorizzi, and so that's where I'm kind of at with the slate. Don't love it. I think, I was looking at Edward Cabrera as one of the guys I really like for a strikeout over, but unfortunately, PrizePicks does not have a line for him. I'm looking at Mad Max for a strikeout over. I do have him projected for about 8.5 strikeouts, but again, is there going to be weather concerns down the line? It's supposed to be clear, but we'll see. I do like him for an over if you're looking at strikeout props. I have bet him, but I did get him at 6.5, right? On PrizePicks, you have to get him at 7, so that's a bit of a problem. I only have to get to 7 for a hit. You guys have to get to 7 for a push, and then go to 8 for a win. So that's kind of where I'm at with the slate right now. We could see max up to 7.5 or on the books, but we'll see. I think that I'm looking right now at Paul Goldschmidt for an over and Brandon Lowe for an under. So that's kind of just where I'm at with the slate. Not seeing a ton of value. I would go pretty light today. Tomorrow looks much more promising. Today, just not loving it with the weather, with the teams that are playing, with the potential matchups. There's just not a lot of value that I see on this slate. And so that's why for me, don't force it. Don't force the plays. If they're not there, don't take them. I'm going pretty light today, not seeing a ton of value. I did okay yesterday, but lost a lot on Ohtani, made a lot on Justin Steele. So there is a lot of things going on here, but overall for the slate, I'm not seeing what I'm liking. I'm not liking what I'm seeing right now. Again, you see the big edge for the Cubs. It's potentially there, but if J-Mon has a good game, which he very well could, he's been struggling a little bit, but he's had some tough matchups. He gets a really good matchup today against the Cubs, so there could be potential there that I do like. But of course, I think that Goldschmidt and Lau are kind of the two plays that make sense. A lot of data to support them. Again, if you wanted to go with Robert for an under or Trout for an under, there's just not all the data to support it, but they have been struggling mightily. And then Contreras for an over. Again, he's been playing well, but up against a guy that he's had zero success against, basically. So that's why I don't really love it overall. But thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, if you tail, give them hell. If we fail, do not bail. Make sure to drop me a like and subscribe for future content. And I'll see you guys tomorrow back with more MLB picks and bets. I'm out. Peace.